5th, 1836. The Mexican government has sent troops into Texas under the command of Mexican Chief of State, General Santa Anna. The troops are opposed by a small group of Texians. They're holed up in the Alamo mission. The Texians are greatly outnumbered. It seems doubtful that they can hold out unless they get help. And no one knows if this help will come before Santa Anna launches a full-fledged attack. The Mexican province of Texas is not a part of the United States, although it has been populated by a steady stream of Americans. These Texians, as they are called, are Mexican citizens. Their province is part of the Mexican nation, but their difficulties with the central government have steadily increased. Now there is open rebellion.
March 5th, 1836. The Siege of the Alamo. You are there.
The Siege of the Alamo is now in its 12th day, and there is still no sign of reinforcements. CBS News correspondent Bob Schieffer is in the Alamo with the defenders. All things are as they were then, except...
You are there.
A new bombardment of the Alamo just started, and everyone is taking cover. These bombardments don't last very long. They aren't very accurate, but they are a constant reminder that there is an army outside these walls that can strike at any moment.
Casualties? Casualties. Any casualties? Sound out. Anybody hit?
The man asking about casualties is Colonel William Travis, who shares command of the garrison with Colonel James Bowie. But Bowie is taken very sick, and so Travis has assumed full charge. The man he's speaking to is Davy Crockett, the famous hunter, writer, and former American congressman from Tennessee. Colonel Crockett arrived to help out at the Alamo several weeks ago.
Your men all right?
Not a scratch on them, Buck.
How about this damage to the walls?
Couple of stones knocked out, nothing we can't knock in again.
Good.
How we doing on them messengers you sent out?
They'll get through. Bonham, anyway. I sent him to see Fannin at Goliad, and another man to Sam Houston in the Constitutional Assembly.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that bunch. They're politicians. All they'll send you back is a lot of hot air.
That's why I'm counting on Fannin. He's got 400 men. We got 183. That's nearly 600 fighting men, Davy.
There's a fellow out there with 3,000.
Well, we got Davy Crockett on our side. That ought to even the odds. Let's go, Garrett.
Nice boy. Very nice. But awful young.
How is he?
Not good.
Susanna Dickinson, wife of one of the men here who has been taking care of Colonel Bowie.
I thought I might go in and try to cheer him up.
With lies?
You know, I saved a little piece of candy for that baby of yours. Hello, Jim. Any news? Well, I'm expecting Fannin any time now.
Oh, don't count on Fannin. Goes by the book.
Well, he won't let us down.
He's West Point, always figuring the odds.
Look, why don't you get yourself a little rest now? We're going to need you later.
And if he does come, it is still 3-4 to 1. We will be slaughtered.
Mr. Rose, you sound like a man who has some suggestions.
Perhaps we can escape in small groups over the walls at night.
Our duty happens to be here.
Your duty was to empty this place and leave. There is no chance.
As long as men are willing to fight, there's a chance.
You talk like a gentleman, and you'll die like one. Looking for death, asking for it. I am no gentleman. I am a soldier. I was with Napoleon at Moscow. I see more men die than you ever see live.
Look,
I
Mr.
do not look to die. I look to stay alive. I learned when to fight and when to run away. It is time to run.
No, Louis.
There is no chance.
Now, listen. As long as we're alive, there's a chance. And as long as there's a chance, you're going to fight. That does include you. Now get to your post.
Suppose we don't get help?
We will. So we come out here to make a new life. We're gonna make it, I promise.
I wish we were back east.
Honey, we decided. And we were right. You saw all the land out here. All of it. Just for the taking.
But there is plenty other good land.
But we're a country now. We don't belong to Mexico, no more. We're Texians. We gotta fight them for that, Sue.
But why?
Because it's ours.
He's sleeping.
Colonel Travis?
Yes, sir, what is it?
Colonel Travis, is it true that you and Colonel Bowie were sent here to evacuate the Alamo?
Well, that was General Houston's advice, but you see, when we got here, we realized that it wasn't the best course.
Against such an overwhelming force?
Yes, sir, for two reasons. You see, one is military. If we can stop Santa Anna here, he can't proceed against us anywhere else. We'll have bought invaluable time to organize and prepare and finally crush him.
The other reason, sir?
Hey, you hear that? Well, Santa Anna likes to shell us and then serenade us. It's real thoughtful.
The other reason, sir?
Sir, the enemy is advancing. 3,000 of them. And I cannot evacuate the Alamo and consider myself an honorable man. Now, will you excuse me?
Three days ago, the Texians declared their independence from Mexico, and while the Alamo waits desperately for help, 150 miles away, trying to hammer out a constitution.
This is CBS News correspondent Dallas Townsend at Washington on the Brazos. General Sam Houston has arrived, and we understand he's been appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Texas Army. Most people believe that the convention will accept whatever advice General Houston gives them, especially in military matters. The man coming out of Convention Hall now is Lorenzo de Zavala, a Mexican, a former supporter of Santa Anna, who now has come over to the Texas side. Senor Zavala, has any decision been made about the Alamo?
No, it's still being discussed.
Talk. We can't save them with talk. We gotta move.
Senor Zavala, in Mexico you're considered a traitor.
I am against the government.
Can't you be against the government and remain in Mexico?
Certainly, as a corpse.
Then you feel you had no choice.
Everyone has a choice. There is no longer democracy in Mexico. There's only a tyrant, Santa Anna. He's the one who betrays Mexico. To fight against him is not to fight against my country, but for it. Here comes General Houston now.
Ask me what I thought, and I told you.
General Houston.
All right. Now, that's enough. The matter's settled.
General Houston, how is the matter settled?
By letting brave men die.
Your job is to stay here and create a government.
There won't be any government if the Alamo falls. Santa Anna will see to that.
You leave Santa Anna to me, I'll leave the government to you.
General, then you're not going to the Alamo?
I'm going to Gonzales. It's on the way. Where I go from there depends on the situation.
How many men are you taking with you, General?
The same army I brought with me to this convention.
And how many men is that?
4, my belt. I don't have an army. I'm going in the field to raise an army. If I had an army, I'd be at the Alamo now.
General, is it true that you sent Jim Bowie with orders to evacuate the Alamo because you thought it couldn't be defended?
That's right.
Why weren't the orders carried out?
Because Jim Bowie likes to fight better than he likes to think. Let's go.
General, how do you intend raising an army?
Well, I'm leaving that up to Santa Anna.
What do you mean by that, General?
Well, he's throwing 3,000 of his best troops against how many men at the Alamo? 200? There won't be an able-bodied man left in Texas who won't join me after hearing about that massacre.
Then you think there will be a massacre?
Well, there wouldn't have to be, not if they'd listen. But I guess you don't build a new country with men who listen.
It's night now and very quiet here. No shots from the Mexican side, no sound at all. Only a deafening silence, a stillness that grows steadily more ominous. The Mexican troops can be seen now, just outside the range of the Alamo rifles.
Looks like they're getting ready. We can still get away, Buck. Most of us.
If you wish to leave, Mr. Crockett.
Me and my boys could stay and give the rest of you cover.
Look, it's not necessary. Fenn and his men will be here soon.
Whatever you say, Buck.
Davy. I'm sorry. What I said about your leaving.
Oh, no offense, man.
None taken.
It's just that we came here for a purpose, and I don't want to betray that purpose, you understand?
Listen. Not even the crickets are chirping.
This is CBS News correspondent Douglas Edwards at General Santa Anna's headquarters. The general is out inspecting the troops. All that's needed now is the command to attack. The man making coffee here is the general's orderly, a former American slave named Ben. Excuse me.